Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. I went and looked in the fridge. Instead of having 2 pumpkin beers left, I had 3. So we're going to do this one first and hold the other 2. We got 2 Averys in there, and they are monster beers. They're 16, 17, 18 percenters. So I know them boys are going to be big puppies there. I mean, Avery is really known for making some monster beers, and those 2 that I have in there are monster beers. So, got a feeling they're going to be a little on the boozy side, but we'll find out tomorrow and the next day what those 2 bring. So, we're going to do this one, and this is a pretty big bottle. This is from Blue Mountain. This is their Spooky, and it is a beer that, let me give you the commercial description. And it's basically the same thing that's written right on the top of the back of the bottle here. Says this is an 8.2 percenter here. Boo, there has never been a better feeling than when you were a kid spiriting around the neighborhood in a white sheet with a bucket of candy bars. No, not really, but we figured if we loaded up an Imperial Pumpkin Ale with natural chocolate flavor from cocoa nibs and stick it in a bourbon barrel for a few months, it might come pretty close. We'll see about that. On the back of the bottle it says 8.2%, and there's 22 IBUs listed on the back of the bottle here. I didn't see a date anywhere. The bottle is sweating a little bit since I got it out of the fridge, so we'll look a little closer. Pretty sure this is this year's edition of this. It's got the cage and the cork top on it, so hopefully I'll be able to wrench that off with my hands here in a minute. The food pairings for this is your typical pumpkin ale. Since it's not a recognized style, guys, I've told you this on all the pumpkin beers. It says dessert, and the meat is poultry. Glassware to pint, becker, non tumbler to mug. Since this is a big beer and got the cocoa stuff going on, I'm going to use a double glass for this. And there's definitely enough here to share with the other half, which I intend to do. And it says not recommended for extended cellaring, but it's an 8.2. This one will probably keep a while. And I don't know what would fade out over time on this one. I've actually not cellared an Imperial Pumpkin before, so let's see if we can get the wire and cage and cork off of this one. And it may have the date on the cork. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll put the date on the cork. Here we go. It's what it says. Best by November 2015. So they're wanting you to have this within a year. So this one is a good candidate to sell it for a year if you'd like. But they want you to have it by November of 2015. So let me see if I can wrench the cork out of this bad boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of smoke, big pop with that. And it looks like it's going to have a lot of carbonation with that big pop, so I'm going to pour it a little on the aggressive side. As you can see, with that easy pour, we still got a good 3 fingers of head. I expected it to be a little darker than that. It is a rich amber, almost to the copper color, a little red hints in there. I can see the bulb right through it. It's not real cloudy. Got a slight chill haze on it. A lot of tight bubbles around the outside of the glass with a few bigger ones from the pour on the middle there. Looks pretty good in the glass. Now, this brewery is just up the road, a couple hours away, so I consider them, a local brewery. And I've actually been to this brewery before, and they make a lot of different beers. They go outside the box on a lot of different stuff. They try a lot of different things. Real nice brewery if you get a chance to go up to Nelson County, Virginia. They've got a real nice brew pub there where you can look through the window and see the fermentation tanks, and they serve some food and stuff there. So we've got a few hop vines growing out on premises. I don't know if they actually just do that just to grow the hops, or they actually use that in the production of their beers or not. It's been a few years since I've been there, so I don't know how much they've expanded it or how many more hops plants they've planted since I was there. When I was there a few years ago, they didn't have a whole lot of hops planted. I mean, basically it looked like it was just for decoration. But anyway, some of their beers I like, and some of them not so much. So hopefully this will be one of the winners. So we'll see here. Let's get a nose on this one. Slight hint of some bourbon in there. There is a little bit of, it's the cinnamon or the nutmeg or the ginger is not jumping out like it was the other day on the beer we reviewed, where they used a little too much nutmeg in my opinion. But this one, nothing seems to be overpowering anything else. There is a slight hint of the bourbon. It's not a massive bourbon smell. It's got a nice smell to it though. Nothing seems to be standing out more than the other. So let's give it a taste and see what we got. Cheers everybody. An 8.2% pumpkin ale brewed with cocoa nibs and put in bourbon barrels. Cheers. Not getting a lot of the ginger, nutmeg, or allspice, or any of the pumpkin pie taste. So I don't know if they actually brew this with real pumpkin or not. They may have just put some pumpkin flavoring in there. I am getting the hint of the bourbon. Very effervescent on the tongue. Fairly tasty, but not standing out as an impressive pumpkin ale. But it's right out of the fridge at 40 degrees, so let's let it warm up and see if any of the other flavors come out in this one. It is tasty, but it's not blowing me away as far as the pumpkin pie spices or anything in there. So let's let it warm up before I make additional comments, and let's see where it ends up here in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes while I'm sipping on it and sharing the other half of this. And I'll come back and do the final grade and chug on this one once it's warm, and we'll look and see if there's any other dating on the bottle other than what was on the cork. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little after. Been sipping on it about 45 minutes. Now that it's warmed up, there is a little bit more of the ginger and the nutmeg in the beer. But the bourbon is still the most pronounced flavor that I'm getting in the beer. Not overall, it's probably not a bad beer, but I don't find it an exceptional beer or an outstanding beer. So let's do the final chug on this one. And the bottom of the bottle that we poured in her glass was much more cloudier than what I have in my glass. A lot of sediment in the bottom of the bottle. Doesn't have anything sticking to the bottom of the bottle, so it all came out into her glass. So, final chug. Very carbonated, very effervescent on the tongue. A hint of the bourbon, not getting a lot of the chocolate. Hint of the nutmeg and the ginger in the beer. Not a bad beer, but just not quite to the exceptional category or an outstanding beer to me. Decent, but not outstanding. For me, guys, I'm gonna give it a 7, which is a B+, because it did have the dating on the cork. There's nothing on the bottle, and it says best by November 2015. So I'm pretty sure this year's edition. I don't know when it was put in the bottle, whether it was put in June or exactly when it was put into the bottle. I haven't been to the website, and like I told you guys, I do consider this a local brewery, and they do some tasty beers. Some of them are hit, and some of them are misses. A lot like the Lips of Faith series that New Belgium does. Some of those are pretty good, and some of them not so much. But it was a nice change. I enjoyed it, but I just don't find it to be an exceptional, outstanding beer. So B plus for me. So let's go over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 83, which that number is a little lower. If I was putting numeric rating on it, it would probably be an 87 or an 88, somewhere in that area. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says overall 79, which is not very good numbers, but 89 in the style. So if you average those out, it's probably going to be somewhere around the 83 that Beer Advocate had. So I'm probably being a little generous on this beer, but I did enjoy it. It was a nice change. I would like to see just a little more chocolate in it, since they said they put it on cocoa nibs, but I'm not getting a whole lot of that in the beer. And with the bourbon barrel aging on it, that basically is overpowering everything else. It's not a super strong bourbon taste, but it is overpowering the spiciness of the beer with the pumpkin spices in there are fairly subdued, but decent overall. Definitely above average beer. B plus for me. So if you've had this one from Blue Mountain, this is their Spooky. Let me know what you think of it, and we're going to dive into the fridge tomorrow, and we got two of those Avery beers, which are really big beers, so kind of got a feeling they're going to be a little on the boozy side. Both of those are candidates for cellaring more than likely, but since they were sent to me, I feel kind of obligated to go ahead and review those, and that's what we're going to do. So join me tomorrow. We'll pull one of those out of the fridge, and hope to see you then.